Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back to your daily crypto news and analysis. And today we are going to be talking about Xinfin Network, aka XDC. And before we fully dive on in, I just want to say happy holidays to those that actually do celebrate Thanksgiving. Overall, I do hope everybody outside of those that are celebrating as well. I hope that you are all having a beautiful day. I hope everybody's having a beautiful day or a beautiful night wherever you guys are watching this from. But nonetheless, listen, we have started to see some pretty significant traction within the market. Now, I'm recording this a little bit earlier, roughly over a day early because I will be traveling. But I want to address the macro real quick. So as we look at a few things within this market, specifically utility altcoins, right? So on a 7-day span, you could see a lot of these tokens that are doing moves and you might be questioning everything. Like for an example, FTX token. Why is FTX token moving? Why is this moving? Why is that moving? And then you scroll down the list and you're looking at a few other altcoins like HBAR, or maybe you're even looking at XDC and you're just thinking to yourself, when are these altcoins going to break out? And realistically speaking, as we look at enterprise and as we look at the financial use cases within the space, things take time, right? But what I will say is if we look back at the year span on XDC, I am actually expecting us to see a big break to the upside after we just kind of range sideways here. What we want to see on the down side pressure is holding 4.5 cents. Losing this level would be significant, but I'm looking at XDC and I still believe that this thing is going to have a major breakout. But with that being said, I also just want to let you guys in on the big sale that is happening right now. 40% off Black Friday, DCENT Wallets. Listen, this is truly something special. If you are in the market for cold storage, or maybe you want to also diversify outside of Ledger, or maybe you have other wallets, now is the best time. Or maybe you know somebody that is also in crypto, but they don't have cold storage. And we both know how crucial cold storage is, especially with a lot of these exchanges now being sued, they're being fined. All of a sudden, now we have exchanges shutting down. Like, now is the best time to self-custody your crypto. DCENT Wallet, 40% off. Using my link right now, you could save $50 on a biometric wallet. And you could also save up to $128 on a 2-pack. Now is the best time to take advantage of this offer. This truly is their lowest prices. This is the lowest price that I've ever seen DCENT Wallets at. So you have to go and take advantage of this, because without doing so, you're going to have to wait a year for these prices to come back. So definitely go check it out. Links are down in the description below, as well as in the comments below. Outside of that, though, let's dive into the juiciness. So just recently, November 8th, ICC Digital Standard Initiatives launches expanded recommendations for trade documents. That's right. Listen, we got the electronic trade documents bill. But this is going to truly accelerate the digital move in terms of trade finance. And remember, the ICC, the International Chamber of Commerce, is a significant player in this. And if we scroll down, we could actually see that the ICC Digital Standards Initiative has unveiled its expanded digital standards recommendations under DSI's key trade documents and data elements practice today. The launch marks a major step forward in DSI's mission to bridge the gap between standards and adoption within the industry. This is going to accelerate the move towards adopting this new age technology, and it's also going to bring about the standardization of this trade finance industry. Again, all of the major steps that need to be taken. We can actually see all of the major players that are tied to this. The work builds upon foundational standards work by standards development organizations such as the World Customs Organization, the United Nations Center for Trade Facilitation and Electronic Business, and industry organizations such as the International Trade and Forfeiting Association, the ITFA, and the Global Legal Entity Identifier Foundation, NGS1, among others. The expanded package serves as a foundational resource for promoting alignment and interoperability across networks and supply chains. Again, very exciting stuff here. Listen, I'm very, very excited for the future of trade finance. And when we really kind of look at XDC, we know it plays a key role here. Here are some of the quotes as well. This is from the GS1. The DSI's continued efforts to expand the understanding of digital standards in international trade represent a significant step forward in streamlining global commerce. By promoting data reusability and consistency across supply chains, we are facilitating more efficient and secure transactions for businesses across the globe. Then over here, this is from, again, the DSI. By creating transparency and accessibility around trade documents and their core data elements, we aim to enable a more rapid digital transformation, or sorry, it just went back, a more rapid digital transformation among the industry. Industry associations like the ICISA play a crucial role in shaping the future of international trade. Participation in efforts like the ICC Digital Standards Initiative is essential to ensure the industry's voice and expertise contribute to the evolution of global trade standards and practices. Then also over here, this is from the ICC UAE. We are delighted to partner with the ICC DSI for the launch and to support this business enabling initiative. And then last but not least, this is also from the ICC UAE. This work of the ICC DSI is central to the mission of the ICC, which I like to refer to as the international connected community. So very exciting stuff. This is great. Listen, I think that this is incredible. This is what we need to see. We're starting to see standardization reformed across the world, which is going to be, again, an accelerator for that digital transformation to actually happen and occur. And also remember, right, the ICC, the WTO, Citi, and Trade Finance Global recognized Xinfin Xdc Network's potential in trade finance. They also realized that XDC Network could very well bridge that $19 trillion trade finance asset class through, of course, tokenization. So again, we already know that XDC, they know about XDC. The ICC definitely does. And it's all because of the deployment of tokenized assets on public and private blockchain networks via regulator-friendly instruments to resolve electronic bills of lading issues. So again, I'm very excited for the revolution to happen within trade finance. And also remember, right, this is the Digital Standard Initiative, the case for change. The ICC DSI aims to accelerate the development of a globally harmonized, digitized trade environment as a key enabler of dynamic, sustainable, inclusive growth. We engage the public sector to progress regulatory and institutional reform and mobilize the private sector on adoption, implementation, and capacity building. Like I said, this is the big move. This is the accelerator. This is going to really put a rapid change in place. And here you guys have some of the things here. Outdated regulatory environments for businesses to use hard copy documents. Siloed and incompatible digital systems hinder widespread digital adoption. Lack of universal standards leads to fractured trade processes. And this is where, of course, the DSI comes into place, because they are going to bring about a change that, again, addresses all of these problems. And again, this will unify and digitize the global trading system by adhering to the following core principles. And these are those principles. And also, guess what? The ICC Digital Standards Initiative strategy is to unify digital standards efforts across the industry, alliance groups, industry forums, standards, organizations, companies, and countries, spearhead and advocate for adoption of UNCITRAL MLATR, which we've talked about. That is the big one that Xinfin is a part of. Overcome the interoperable rulebook challenge, enable carriers, importers, exporters, banks, and custom officials to have access to a uniform set of terms and rules concerning title management requirements. Enable the trade standards landscape as well. This is going to enhance access to standards that will accelerate the digitization of trade-related processes, expand standards to enable platforms to share information related to trade-related processes. So again, these are the steps that need to be taken. all of this is it's all falling into place. Listen, I've talked about this even with XRP. Like, as we look at ISO 2022 and we start to see banks changing their overall internal technology stack, like, this is all coming together at a perfect time. And also outside of this, like, here you guys have a little bit more of an insight on how long this has been taken. So years of digitizing trade documentation, 20 plus years. Central MLATR adoption since 2017, 8 jurisdictions. Global electronic bill of lading issuance in 2022, 2.1%. I expect this to grow drastically. And then, of course, they do explain the overall goal of the ICC DSI. But then down here, they also do talk about how this is going to establish a globally harmonized trade environment to address these challenges and bridge digital standard gaps. Again, it's all right on par with what we have been addressing with Xinfin. Now, also outside of this, right, I do want to finish off this video with a great post by Tokenizer. This was incredible to see. Obviously, we start to see some major changes at Binance, and Tokenizer put out this great thread. So the new Binance CEOs, a 180 switch from CZ. Having 6+ years with Abu Dhabi Global Market and advising Blockchain Association Singapore, BAS, Richard fits the regulated scheme. In fact, we could see overlaps in the BAS with XRP, Algorand, WTK, R3, but the big picture's through XDC. As we've recently covered, XDC Network had initially went through Abu Dhabi Global Markets Regulatory Sandbox. This was all in 2018, and here you guys have that. We've actually went over this a little bit on the channel already. Again, this is substantial to know. Like we've previously mentioned, not only was XDC added into ADGM's regulatory sandbox, but one of their core products, TradeFinix, was also tested across multiple SMEs in the sandbox. In fact, it's quite interesting that the Xinfin team had directly quoted Richard Tang's enthusiasm on the third ADGM RegLab cohort. Given Richard's position as CEO of ADGM at the time, it's pretty obvious that he had a pretty significant voice in choosing which projects to include for the cohort. With XDC being one of 10 projects chosen, that's saying quite a lot. But that's not all. We also have down here with, this is, again, MLATR being tapped in with Abu Dhabi Global Market. Both ITFA and ADGM have put in place a first movers group. And here we have, again, ITFA fintech initiatives to the institutions making use of ADGM's electronic transactions regulations in 2021. IMDA, MAS, and ADGM complete world's first digital trade financing pilot. This goes all the way back to 2021. And within this, we can actually see that Singapore's Infocom Media Development Authority, IMDA, the Monetary Authority of Singapore, MAS, Financial Services Regulatory Authority, FSRA of Abu Dhabi Global Market, ADGM, they all, in collaboration with commercial partners with DBS Bank, Emirates, NBD, and Standard Chartered, have successfully concluded the world's first cross-border digital trade financing pilot of its kind. And then here is where Central MLATR comes into place. This is going to harmonize the recognition of digital documents such as electronic bills of lading. And this is all constructed by the G7 economies as well. And XDC partners with Singapore's IMDA, launches network to finance MLATR compliant digital trade. Like I said, you need to be looking into XDC heavily at this current moment in time. Many from the XDC community may remember the world's first ever digital trade that was executed. This was between none other than Singapore and Abu Dhabi, specifically Singapore's Monetary Authority plus IMDA plus Abu Dhabi Global Market Financial Service Regulatory Authority. Where have we heard these names before? Well, the ITFA has publicly announced collaboration with ADGM on pushing further for MLATR enhanced digital trade. Beyond this, we've seen XDC Network also partner with Singapore's IMDA for an MLATR compliant trade platform that interoperates with their trade trust framework. Also, Morpheus Network is another global trade project that has gotten the green light by the United Nations and even the ICC on MLATR compliant trade. They've also partnered with IMDA specifically for connecting trade trust to the rest of the supply chain through their middleware solution. With XDC advisor Andre Kasserman spearheading the ITFA and the TFDI, that says all you need to know. And here you guys have some of the connections here, and also you have a little bit more of a background beyond just the face value with Andre Kasserman. He is a significant player behind a lot of this. I've talked about this. We already know that Trade Phoenix was directly tested during the early days of XDC with ADGM's regulatory sandbox. What wasn't initially tested was XDC's Trace original document digitalization application Anigio. But rest assured, Anigio eventually got added into the ADGM's digital lab. Funny enough, Anigio was added just 5 months before ADGM and IMDA had executed the first ever MLATR compliant trade. The foreshadowing is real. It has now been officially 740 days since we witnessed the first MLATR trade, and since then, the framework has only grown in adoption. Given that the ADGM's cooperation to MLATR was during the time of Richard's position as CEO, it's more than likely that Richard had not only had a core part in orchestrating this task, but Richard was spearheading ADGM as all the greater XDC connections to ADGM were laid out. And even after his departure from Abu Dhabi into Singapore, we continue seeing XDC-related connections. Whether it's XDC's foundings in Singapore, their collaboration with the IMDA, ties to the BAS, and of course the digital trade with ADGM. We've got to read between the lines here. Richard Tang is the complete polar opposite of CZ as he begins to go from spearheading the markets of Abu Dhabi into global markets through Binance. Maybe we'll finally see XDC on Binance now. And yeah, I mean, listen, that would be very, very significant. Remember, XDC has a ton of listing opportunity. I love these types of utility gems that have a ton of listing opportunity, because we know eventually we will most likely see retail FOMO in. Again, hey, they'll pump our bags. It is what it is. But it's also the fact that we still have a lot of opportunity to have these specific tokens put in the spotlight while they are still underground. So with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on because more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord in the description below. And with that being said, guys, it's been Nick. Peace out.